Ardern will leave Napier today and return to the capital as New Zealand reels from the announcement of her shock resignation. Live to our New Zealand Bureau Chief, Jessica Maggio in Napier. Jess, good morning. So what's been the reaction there locally so far?
Well, Pete, after the initial shock of it all, the reaction here has been a bit of a mixed bag of emotions. On the one hand, you have people saying that perhaps this was the right decision to make, and they're admiring Jacinda Ardern for stepping down when she felt that she had no more to give and handing the reins over to someone who could lead Labor through the election. On the other hand, you have people saying that perhaps this handed the election over to the Nationals. So we did know that Ardern was lacking in the polls. In fact, it was unprecedented. At the end of December last year, she was at her lowest ever rating, and that included for herself as Prime Minister and the Labor Party. So she had not been doing too well. Now, if we compare that to 2020 in her landslide win, we saw that Jacinda Ardern was really very much the favourite in New Zealand, and that was after a series of events basically that were plastered on the world stage, things like the Christchurch terror attacks, things like White Island volcano eruption, things that really meant that the world adored the Prime Minister, and Kiwis became very proud of that. She also gave birth during her tenure, so she really did win over the public in the early stages of her prime ministership, but unfortunately things like COVID and the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, and especially the quarantine system, which was a bit of a lottery for citizens to even get back into their own country, as well as the cost of living crisis now, where mortgages, groceries, household bills, petrol are increasing at rapid rates. These are things that have really played on the public's mind, and that's why favourability has declined so rapidly, and that's ultimately perhaps she saw the writings on the wall that she wasn't going to win this. But still, the papers this morning have been quite sympathetic to the Prime Minister. We can see here in the Dominion Post, one of the main papers here, Ardern calls time. You can see that she's getting quite emotional. Apologies, it's quite windy here. Gorgeous day though. I no longer have enough left in the tank. That was the New Zealand Herald. Those will be the words that haunt her for sure. So a definite mixed bag of reaction, but here's what some of the public had to say to us.
Oh, a bit shocked actually. Yeah, I can't believe it, if that's really the case.
Oh man, I thought she was all good.
I don't think she was doing very well in the polls anyway, so, you know, it's a good time for her to sit down.
Yeah, it is a surprise. I think she's looked after the country over some pretty difficult times, so yeah, kind of wish her all the best for the future. I think she's done an amazing job with the situation she's been put in.
Because of that adoration globally, of course, world leaders and the general public internationally wouldn't be aware of the crises that are happening in New Zealand specifically. We've seen a lot of world reaction leaders coming forward saying how compassionate and kind she was. She did say yesterday she hoped that she would be remembered as a kind leader. And Justin Trudeau tweeting overnight saying thank you for your partnership and your friendship. So quite personal, calling her a compassionate, strong and steady leader, saying that the difference she's made is immeasurable. So some kind words there. The Prime Minister will be leaving Napier today to head back to the capital until a caucus meeting is had on Sunday for a new Prime Minister of New Zealand.